Good afternoon and welcome to Joy News Today with me, Ewusiejoe. Coming up, Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana worried that illegal mining activities could have devastating consequences on the manufacturing of drugs in the country. 11 more Stop Galamsey Now protesters expected to appear before Accra Circuit Court. And families distressed as Mortuary strike. We'll tell you more about this in the bulletin. There's business news, sports news, and world news, as well as showbiz, all coming up shortly. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. You want to stay with us for details, and my name is Ewusiejoe. Many thanks for your time on Joy News Today. In our first story, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, PSG, is worried that illegal mining activities could have devastating consequences on the manufacturing of drugs in the country. President of the society, Samuel Donko, says the contamination of water sources through galamsey could lead to the importation of water to support the production of pharmaceuticals. He says the production of essential pharmaceutical products depends on access to good quality water. And Ewusiejoe has more in the following report.
The Society of Ghana has expressed deep concern over the increasing threat posed by illegal mining activities to the country's water resources. Speaking at its annual general meeting, the president of the society, Samuel Donko, lamented the contamination of water sources by illegal miners, noting it could lead to the importation of water for local manufacturing purposes.
It is undoubtedly one of the greatest threats to public health we have ever confronted. The activities of illegal miners, in particular, have devastated our water bodies, making it increasingly expensive for pharmaceutical companies to treat water for the manufacturing processes. If this environmental degradation continues, we may soon face the grim reality of importing water to support our local manufacturing industry.
Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Asari, indicated the measures are being instituted to curb illegal mining activities to enhance local production.
There are laws which are in this country. We will make sure that those laws apply. But the fight against galamsey or mining or illegal mining is a holistic fight. Everybody should be on board. So we are calling on everybody, including all the political parties, where the major one, to put their signature under a document so that together we all work together.
Meanwhile, the Pharmaceutical Society has expressed deep concern over the shortage of pharmacists in the public sector due to government's freeze on recruitment.
First, the shortage of pharmacists within the public sector is a critical concern. The large recruitment of pharmacists by the government took place in 2020, when only 300 pharmacists were employed among 51,000 healthcare professionals, which represents less than 1% of all healthcare professionals recruited in 2020.
Their services have been rendered, and it is time they receive what is owed to them.
For Joy News, Nana Boachi Dankwa Kumasi.
Still on the crisis of galamsey, 11 more Stop Galamsey Now protesters are expected to appear before the Accra Circuit Court for their involvement in a demonstration that took place from the 21st to the 23rd of September 2024. This was after the presiding judge refused them bail and adjourned the case to today. Kenneth Jesse has been monitoring this case and joins us from court. Kenneth, many thanks for your time on Joy News Today. Now, what are we to expect in court today?
Today we're expecting the 11 remanded accused persons to appear before court at exactly 1:30 p.m. after they were denied bail yesterday. Now, the court session today is not expected to drag as the lawyers for most of the accused persons argued their cases in court yesterday as to why their clients should be granted bail. And of course, the anticipation is what the verdict of the judge will be as to whether all or some of them will be granted bail or otherwise. Because, for example, one lawyer for one of the accused persons yesterday argued that his client be granted bail to receive psychiatric treatment because he had speech impediment and was not of sound mind, while others argued that their clients were people of good standing and will not abscond if they are granted bail.
We were also informed by the police that Oliver Baka Vomawo and Fanny Otu couldn't appear in court yesterday due to ill health. Will they be present? Have you cited them? What's the update on that?
Well, as it stands now, we do not know if the two gentlemen will appear in court or otherwise, as there has not been any official communication from any of the parties to that effect. However, medical proof of their ill health was tendered in court as evidence yesterday and was agreed by the court that their verdict postponed until they are fit to appear in person. But anything can happen between now and 1:30 p.m.
Thank you so much, Kenneth Jesse, for bringing us up to speed on this. But still on the matter, former President John Dramani Mahama has described as high-handedness the arrest, detention and arraignment of some sub-galamsey now protesters. He's added his voice to calls for the release of these protesters, and his post, as cited on social media, reads, and it's on your screens right now, he says that high-handedness, we must balance our need to maintain law and order with protecting the rights and freedoms of our citizens. Remanding Democracy Hub demonstrators for 2 weeks is high-handed and an abuse of their rights. Continues to say the youth of Ghana have a right to engage in manifestations to protect their future, especially in respect of key issues like the destruction of the environment through illegal mining. Draconian judicial decisions such as this won't stop them from speaking out. He concludes by saying the authorities must request the judge to review the remand decision and grant them bail immediately. Meanwhile, Amnesty International is calling for an immediate review of the Public Order Act of 1994, which they argue grants excessive power to security forces. The group insists that detained individuals, including those in need of medical care, must be released and have announced plans to form a protest observation unit.
All around the world, the right to protest is under attack, and that is why Amnesty International launched its campaign, Protect the Protest, to engage with security forces and protesters alike on the right to protest. Several Ghanaians took to the streets on 22nd and 23rd September to demand the government to do something about the crucial issue of galamsey, illegal mining, which is currently dirtying our water bodies and causing serious health issues in several communities. That is why Amnesty International Ghana has come out to condemn the current unlawful actions by the Ghana police regarding the detained protesters of the Stop Galamsey Now and the Reoccupy Julobi House demonstration. Both protesters and non-protesters are being held in several police stations across the country without access to basic human rights as we speak. What was their crime? To call the government of Ghana to take immediate action against illegal mining that has destroyed our water bodies and caused alarming health-related problems in several communities. The Public Order Act 1994 repealed this abuse of human rights, and it came into action, and it served as a purpose for people to inform the police if they want to do a demonstration.
Still on illegal mining, some women at Ewusiejoe in the Ahanta West municipality of the Western region have resorted to the use of aluminium sulfate, commonly known as alum, to purify water polluted by illegal miners for domestic use. Aside the hidden health dangers posed by the chemical, women and children in the town show skin irritations contracted after bathing with the water. As part of Joy News' series on the effects of galamsey, we take you to Ewusiejoe, where Mortuary River, the main source of water for the people, has been polluted by illegal miners. Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko was in the community and now reports.
Mortuary, a once clean water source serving the water needs of Ewusiejoe, Hohoe, and surrounding communities, is now a murky, poisoned river flowing like a plague through the Ahanta West community. But many, like this woman in towns like Ewusiejoe, have few alternative sources of water due to pollution from illegal mining for gold.
The rain doesn't rain, you won't get water in the well. You see that the water will finish in the well, you go, you won't get water to fetch. You won't get water to fetch. That's why you go. You go for it. Because you don't get water inside the well. What do? You want to wash too. So you go and fetch it and then use the iron and then you use it to wash. Because of the mud, the galamsey mud, you can't use to do anything unless if you take and wash alone.
Some have resorted to fetching water from the polluted Mortuary River. They mix it with aluminium sulfate or alum, a water clarifying chemical sold commonly in provision stores in the town. They wait for the suspended particles to settle and the cleared portion is then separated for domestic use. Our testing of water samples from the Mortuary River at Ewusiejoe registered 0.341 milligrams per liter for arsenic and 0.147 milligrams per liter for cadmium. This is an increase of 582% and 194% compared to the World Health Organization standard of 0.050 milligrams per liter. Aside the hidden dangers of using the cleared water, the women told us they get skin irritation when they bath with the water.
We use the same water for bathing, but the chemicals in it are causing skin rashes. The alum makes my hand itch whenever I put them in the water.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaridonko, Ewusiejoe, Western Region.
Erastus Asaridonko joins us with more. Erastus, many thanks for your time on Joy News today. Can we say to a medical certainty that the contamination of the water is what's causing the skin irritation in your report? Erastus, you have to unmute so we can hear you.
My visit to Ewusiejoe, I went there with some experts and they indicated that if you don't get the specific amounts of aluminium sulfate to use per the water, bucket of water or whatever measurement it is, if you don't get it right, definitely it will give you some irritation on the skin. And so they attribute the itching to the application, the wrongful application of the aluminium sulfate. The amount that is supposed to be used per measurement of water is not being done right, and that is why they are experiencing the irritation on the skin. But they again raise concerns that though the water has been clarified, it still contains the toxins that is present in the water. That cannot be taken away by just simply purifying it. And so women who use this water for domestic activities also stand a certain level of health risk.
Erastus, tell us a bit more about the registered or the arsenic and chromium that you found in the sample water from Mortuary.
So in filming Poison for Gold documentary, we fetched samples from the Mortuary River at Ewusiejoe and Hohoe, which is close to that particular area. And we tested them at the Chief Laboratory of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And when you look at it, we found 0.341 milligrams per liter of arsenic and 0.147 milligrams per liter of chromium. And if you do the math, you realize that it's an increase of about 582 and 194% as compared to the acceptable levels by World Health Organization, which is 0.050 milligrams per liter. So it is telling you that the amount of poisonous heavy metals in the water is quite heavy. And
this alum that they're using does little to nothing when it comes to the heavy metals actually in the water, does it not?
It doesn't remove the heavy metals in the water. We have also done extensive interviews of experts to the Ghana Water Company and even their treatment options. And they tell us that to really remove the heavy metals, you need reverse osmosis as a method and other forms of methods to use, which is not currently being used by the Ghana Water Company or the aluminum sulfate that is being used to purify the water.
Erasto Sasari Donko, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on this. Moving on, the strike by the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana is impacting public mortuaries across the country, leaving families in a state of distress. The strike is to protest poor working conditions, inadequate salaries, and lack of personal protective equipment for mortuary workers. Let's take you to the Ashanti region, where families waiting to take the bodies of their relatives at the Komfo Teaching Hospital are among those stranded and demanding immediate action. Nana Boakye Adam joins us with updates. Nana Boakye, tell us about the state of the people at Komfo Teaching Hospital as they've met it and on the back of the strike from the mortuary workers.
Well, some of these relatives who came to the Komfo Teaching Hospital this morning had to come and take the bodies of their relatives. But unfortunately for them, after traveling from afar to the hospital, they've been told to go because there are no workers there to give them their bodies and to even give them access to the hospital facility so that they can even get to see the bodies that they dispose at the hospital. As I speak to you, a number of them are at the Komfo Hospital's mortuary center where they are trying to speak to authorities to see whether or not they'll be able to get the bodies of their relatives. Sadly enough, most of them have their funeral scheduled for Saturday. It is only fair that for them traveling afar, they get access to the bodies of their relatives. But unfortunately, they would not have access to these bodies because the workers are on strike and the hospital facility, especially the mortuary facility, is being closed for public use.
This means that nobody else can replace these mortuary workers who are on strike at the moment, for which reason families cannot access their bodies. Tell me more.
Well, when we went to the Komfo Teaching Hospital, the only person available is the security man, and he is preventing families from having access to the facility. Well, the families are distressed because they want access to these bodies. And looking at the fact that they have their funeral scheduled for this weekend, it is only fair for them to have these bodies so that they can send them to wherever they have to send them to. But then there are no officials, nobody there. There's absolutely nobody to even give you access to the body of your relatives. And so you are only allowed to stay there, mourn within yourself, and hope for the best.
Thank you so much, Nana Boakye Dankwayadom. Now let's also speak to Collins Frimpong, who's right here in Accra at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Collins, is the situation different here in Accra at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital? Are families able to gain access to their bodies?
Well, the situation is quite different compared to Pharmacist because here, bereaved families or people are allowed to go in, and you can see workers around here who are working or who have reported to work, but they are not working, they are just idle. So the strike has been intense over here at Kolebu Teaching Hospital Mortuary, but some of the bereaved families who came here to make payment to take their bodies away for weekend funeral have not been able to do so because of the strike. Some people are pleading with government to do the necessary arrangements, to put the necessary arrangements in place with some of the association in order to allow them to take their bodies away before the weekend because they don't know what to do. if they don't do their funerals over the weekend. So that's the situation here. When you come to Accra here, the workers are here. People are allowed to go inside, but you won't get access to make payments or even to see the bodies that you want to see.
Have you been able to speak to any of these families or authorities and want to gauge their mood on how they're responding to this industrial action?
Yes. When we engage them, they are left stranded. Yeah. And let's listen to what some of them were saying.
Well, we'll bring you that sound bite in a subsequent bulletin. But moving on, thank you so much, Collins. Moving on, the governing New Patriotic Party says it hopes to reclaim the Fomena parliamentary seat and boost its votes in the upcoming December 7th election with a decision to retain second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Ewusiejoe, as parliamentary candidate. During a unity rally at Dompoase in the Fomena constituency, NPP's vice presidential candidate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, called on the party or party members to forgive past grievances, unite and work together in the interest of the party.
The unity rally in Dompoase marked the beginning of an intensified effort to secure a decisive victory for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Andrew Ewusiejoe, who in 2020 won the parliamentary seat as an independent candidate. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh emphasized that the NPP's anticipated win in the Fomena constituency depends on peace and unity, urging members to join forces and campaign vigorously for the party.
And the party chairman that chairman for and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Obeba Fomena. Ebe so Obeba Fomena. Na Philip. Ebubo Saka de Fiadoro baby. Na Philip. Ebubo Saka Atabuafu. Obunyina koke siama ho. No major platforms. No munyina PSG siama de Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ansa. Besemo. Obidim ye cheme ebe si. Tibesiamu mo ba enyina mo fa do na enkofi. Enkoka se enye de Fomena yaka emo abo. Ye vote never to say boom boom.
Dr. Opoku Prempeh appealed to supporters to fully back Ewusiejoe in his quest to retain the Fomena seat for the NPP on December 7th, noting Ewusiejoe's ongoing support for the party in parliament.
House to house, and some back on room to room, throat to throat,
On his part, Andrew Ewusiejoe reaffirmed his commitment to lead the NPP to a resounding victory in Fomena.
Yasa abafie na ye bafie e pan sonkoso na ye bachichi fie no amafie no aye konkon eno ene me gina ha maka se yanya bibinti e bia yakti nyema bia se omo bibinti o manti nyema bia se wo bia se ni utie bia
Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh also cautioned voters in the Ashanti region about the risk of voting for the National Democratic Congress, the NDC.
Meanwhile, the NPP is asking electorates in the Hohoe constituency to maintain John Peter Amewu as their Member of Parliament. The party believes Mr. Amewu's initiatives over the last 8 years demonstrate his zeal for the progress of the constituency by championing development projects. There's more.
The Hohoe constituency would once again be the center of attraction in the Volta region in the upcoming December 7th general elections. Railways Minister John Peter Amewu aims to continue representing the Hohoe constituent in Parliament, cashing hopes in his development initiatives within the last 8 years.
We go beyond development, and so it is about our own personal development.
Nonetheless, the National Democratic Congress fields Wolanyo Chekbu, who reigns from Alavanyo, to help it win back the seat from the New Patriotic Party. Alavanyo and Hohoe communities have been key deciders in the Hohoe parliamentary elections, hence the NDC picking an Alavanyo indigene as a candidate renewed its hope of winning.
I'm more than convinced that the outgoing MP, John Peter Mewu, will be one-term MP.
However, a leading member of the NPP, Prince Ellis Antre, has launched campaign activities for the governing party in the area. This is targeted at reducing the NDC's voting pattern in the Alavanyo area.
As the youth, everybody believes in development. We are civilized. We have seen the development. We know what has happened in Hohoe constituency since 1992. NDC has been in power in parliament for years. We've not seen anything. Go to all the traditional areas today. Only 4 years in parliament, you see the change. It's very clear. It's obvious. So everyone knows what is happening, and we are very much, ready to support that same agenda for development. That's all we are about.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Hohoe.
The European Union is committing 50 million euros in the phase 1 of the Sustainable Cities project to improve basic services in 6 cities in the northern Ghana. The European Union Ambassador Ikad Razali, who disclosed this, said the EU is supporting to help narrow the development gap between the area and the rest of the country.
The Sustainable Cities Phase 1 project is part of the EU-Ghana Partnership for Sustainable Cities. Funded by the EU, is aimed at improving urban sustainability and prosperity in 6 cities in northern Ghana. Speaking at the launch, the EU ambassador to Ghana, Ikad Razali, said access to basic amenities in cities in northern Ghana are low compared to the rest of the regions in Ghana.
The European Union is committed as well to support the development of the 5 northern regions to narrow the gap with the rest of the country. So this is the reason why we are putting together 15 million euros as a first phase to address this issue of urbanization in the northern region.
The Northern Regional Minister, Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu, assured the EU of government's commitment to ensure the success of the project.
To be able to achieve the success of this project, every stakeholder needs to work as a team to ensure that it achieves its stated objectives. The beneficial 6 cities, this project is for you and it is designed with your needs at heart.
Head of Urban Development and Circular Economy Unit, Camille Lejean, said issues of sanitation, waste management and local governance are key to development.
The issue of sanitation, of waste management, of local governance, be on the right track. So hopefully we'll achieve successfully all that we want. So in closing, I would like to reaffirm Expertise France's commitment to working closely with all of you to ensure the success of this project.
Let's pause here for a break and we will return with more news stories.
Hello and welcome to the business segment on JoyNews Today with me, Pius Kojobaka. Managing Director of Orange Property Consulting, Isaac Jumopoku, is urging graduate professionals entering into the built environment to be equipped with the necessary tools to excel in their roles, both in corporate institutions and in service to the country. Now, this, he believes, is necessary to transform the built environment and consistently grow the real estate economy. Mr. Jumopoku spoke at the Real Estate Career Launch Part 2024.
These are new things happening in the industry, and they will come, and another things in the future, new things will come. So you cannot stop learning. So this has been a great opportunity for us. We those who are already in the industry practicing, and I'm sure our young graduates and students who also joined us have gotten an overview of what is waiting for them in the corporate world. Yes, there are a lot of opportunities waiting for you. There are also some challenges that possibly you are the people to bring the solutions to these challenges. That is the reason why we are organizing this very important program, so that as young graduates, you'll get prepared to see the opportunities that are available and also the challenges. We are part of the world at Africa. We have a lot of challenges, but in that challenges also presents opportunities.
Ghanaian students have been urged to leverage the power of the internet and social media in creating entrepreneurial opportunities. The internet has been heavily relied on by the youth as their source of social networking and entertainment. However, an international thought leader, Lorna Owens, is charging the youth of Ghana to use the web in creating global brands and businesses. She was speaking at a webinar with students of the Wisconsin University here in Accra. There is more in the following report.
The conversation with Chief Executive Officer of Footprints Foundation, Linda Owens, brought together staff and students of the Wisconsin University and a host of prospective entrepreneurs. Speaking to the gathering on how they could position their brands globally, Linda Owens urged the youth to leverage the internet to successfully create global brands.
So you can make a difference. Now, how do you take that idea and make it global? You don't have to go in the world we live in. You don't have to go on a plane. You don't have to go on a plane to grow your business globally. You need to be on the web. Now I'm looking for chocolate, right? Because Ghana has amazing chocolate. And I Googled best chocolate in Ghana, and here's, for example, what pops up. There's two sisters called Kimberly and Priscilla. They have a chocolate company called 57 Chocolate, and they came back to Ghana because they noticed that you have the largest cocoa production, I guess, in the world, but Switzerland is known for its chocolate, and Switzerland don't grow chocolate, right? So they're like, why isn't Ghana making chocolate? And apparently they're making amazing chocolate. But it's a Google, and it also told me where I could get it. It tells me where I could get it in America, and it tells me where I can get it in Ghana. The point of the matter is you have to be on the web.
The motivational speaker also challenged the youth and students to build their expertise in the fields of endeavor by learning from captains of industry.
You have to become an expert at what you do. That means you need to read. You need to follow trends. You need to understand how it relates to your business. And don't be so narrow that the only thing you read is midwifery. If you're going to do a midwifery business, don't be so narrow. Look at all successful businesses, because success leaves trail. And what's successful in one business likely can translate the skill set to you.
The Wisconsin University says it intends to expose its students and the general public in the coming days to similar seminars in order to build future leaders for the country.
And that's it for business for now. I am Ewusiejoe Baka. We have sports next for you. Please stay.
Time now to bring you sports here on JoyNews Today with me, Muftao Nabila Abdullah. Former Ghana international Derek Boateng has accused the leadership of the Ghana Football Association of being interested in only money instead of the betterment of the country's football. According to him, Ghana lost out on hosting international matches in the country due to the fact that the association is not interested in investing in the basics for the development of football.
For me, it's really, really sad. I don't want to believe it in the first time when I hear that, but it's really, really sad as a Ghana where we are in football right now to be in this kind of situation. It means that some people are not doing something right there. You understand that we need to correct. All the time I said this job is a huge job. One person cannot do it. Everybody have to be part of it. Everybody have to play part. But I feel like The FA need to wake up and do something because this is their job, to make sure that all the fields are good for the players to play. The only thing they care about, for me, I will say it and say it every single day, is money. We have players playing in Europe in a good field. They will come and play in the shit pitch. Sorry for my language. And you expect them to perform well, and you expect them to win games. And if the win is not coming, then it will be a problem. The FA people know what it means for a player to play well, to perform well. You understand? So you cannot tell me that Thomas Partey will play on Arsenal field, how look the field is, the training facility and everything. And then you come to Ghana, I'm not asking for the same pitch in Arsenal, but at least they should do it better. If they care, the FA care about football. They have to make sure that those things are done before the players will come. But for me, they cannot put any pressure on any player that they are not playing well, they are not performing well. It's coming from them. Football play outside before we go to the pitch. So for me, they have to wake up and do something about those things. It's so sad that we are in that kind of situation right now. We don't have to be there. Ghana now have to find a field to play a home games. Oh, come on. We are too much for that. So for me, it's really, really sad to hear something like that.
Now, former captain of the senior national team, Stephen Abia, he says that players plying their trade in the domestic leagues should be given opportunities to play for the senior national team, the Black Stars. Speaking before the Parliamentary Select Committee investigating a petition submitted to them by the Safe Ghana Football conveners, he believes that domestic players, when given opportunities, can stake a claim in the team.
I think, yes, I think we have to give the local players, we have to give them the chance and confidence to play for the national team. So in our time, even there are certain players that looks as if they are key players in the team. We were not key players. We have players like William Theo and the rest who were pushing us. So we too we have to make sure that we are not going to allow them to take our positions. For example, when we went to the World Cup 2006, Osei was a top defender. After the game against Germany, after the game against Italy, the second game against Czech Republic, it was Sheila Alias who was playing for Kotoko. He came in and he stamped the position. Brilliant player. You have Habib Mohamed who took Adokwe Papo position, play number 3. Fantastic. So in our time, there was a competition. Today, there was no competition. So some of the players, they feel so cool that whether they play well or not, they will play. But in our time, it wasn't like that. There was a competition. When we played our second qualifier against South Africa in Kumasi, we lost our first game. We beat South Africa 3-0. I scored 2 goals, but I wasn't the man of the match. It was William Theo who was playing for Liberty Professional. So this is the difference. Today, we don't have such things anymore. We have our players now running to go to Tanzania. It's a shame. They should rather come here. We have our players now going to Sudan. When we played against Niger, the number 7 who was the best player on the pitch, who played for Niger, is a Ghanaian. We have a striker who won the Goal King in Ghana Premier League because he didn't get the chance. Now he's playing for Togo. So we have to give our boys, we have to give them the chance. And because today our league is not attractive, that's why they are running and going to other countries. Why? Because some of the boys are earning 300 cedis. They are earning 500 cedis. And at times they have to go beyond 5 months. They have children. They have to take care of home. They have to pay their bills. So somebody will come and say, okay, I'll give you $800. They will go. That's why today we even open a free gate, Kotoko against Accra Suffolk, empty stadium. So we have to try and look at those things.
That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your time.
But that's how we're wrapping up for Joy News today. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com to keep you informed and updated. From Jacqueline and I, it's bye for now.